Welcome back to art, everybody, and we are continuing our investigation into Yayoi Kusama, the Japanese artist who is still living, still practicing, and is possibly the most famous artist in the world at the moment. She's obsessed with dots, and we are going to create some sculptural work that, when hung, almost become an installation piece. An installation means that it's an artwork that you can be part of, and you can walk around and you become part of the artwork. So sculptural pieces and paintings could be part of an installation piece, and that is exactly what we're going to create today. You'll need a balloon, newspaper, Elmer's glue, water, acrylic paints, acrylic gloss. I also use acrylic markers for a bit of speed. Now, some people create paper mache using flour and water, and I do not, because I live in a humid environment and it tends to mold, and that's not very nice. So I use Elmer's glue instead. But you do you. Let's take a look at the video. Feel free to take a screenshot of the materials you need. The first thing that I start with is newspaper. I cut down into strips and then into smaller squares and rectangles. Next, I'm going to blow up a balloon. I'm going to pick a strong one, which then I attach to a takeaway cardboard cup container to keep it sturdy. I'm using Elmer's glue here, 1 part water, 4 parts glue, and I stir until smooth. Dunk your newspaper pieces into the glue mixture. Rinse off the excess glue and then stick onto the balloon. The paper mache structure needs to be firm so it won't collapse when the balloon deflates or is removed. I suggest you have 4 or 5 layers of paper mache, leaving each layer to dry before putting the next layer on. Now, when this is all dry and firm, you can start adding your gesso or primer. Add a few coats, 2 or 3, just enough so that your structure or your sculpture is white. And that means that your acrylic colours that you paint on top will pop. When your gesso has dried, you can draw on your yayo circles with pencil. Now, be careful not to use a hairdryer to speed up that drying process, because the balloon will deflate. Now is the fun part where you get to choose your colours. So you can choose complementary colours or contrasting colours, your choice. Leave your circles white, apart from the little ones. The little ones can be popped on there with an acrylic pen or a Posca marker. You can see that I'm loosely following Yayoi Kusama's design. I've got lots of little circles going on, and I've used a bit of artistic license and changed it up a little bit. Okay, I cheated a little bit here. I used an acrylic marker because to paint it would take about 4 or 5 times as long. I love my acrylic markers, and the red one here, I've got a thick one and a thin one for the little circles. Of course, you can use acrylic paint using a big brush and a small brush. That will work just as well, but it just takes a bit longer. I also had students working in pairs because this saved a bit of time, especially during the paper mache process. So when this is all nice and dry, I use liquitex acrylic varnish. It gives it a nice shine and finishes it off nicely. I got my son here to help me cut the balloon out, and you can see that it was strong enough and it didn't collapse. Then I put some string in using some Yoo-hoo liquid glue. That's also strong enough. You don't want the ball falling down in the middle of a display. I've just added a few examples of some student work in progress and student work completed, and student work exhibited. Doesn't it look amazing? Let's get started.